Okay, I'm making this video because I just watched this YouTuber, Supo Man, explain to me that he doesn't want an EOS account, even though I offered to give him some free tokens, not EOS, but other tokens of my own projects to prove how easy it is to get him to use it, to get his followers to use it. But of course, he says, oh, it's crap, it's dead. We're not. These people are obsessed with just money and the price, when the price is irrelevant if you actually have good technology that can, you know, work, create jobs. I mean, these people don't get it. Like, not everybody can be the investor. Sometimes you need an industry. Anyway, he tried to say that the activity there and the transactions up at the top there are fake. It's like, wait, why do we have to take that from these people in Ethereum? If Ethereum had free transactions, you'd be using so many. EOS has Tether. There are people trading with it. It has real value. And there are people who use EOS or EOS just for that, just for Tether, just for the Tether trading. So there is real freaking value, and you can't say that it's not there. It's just like they just like to say that when they're not winning, it's like the election. When this doesn't suit you, then it's like, oh well. Okay, so look at the EOS market cap. Look at the EOS volume, okay? It's at 2.2 billion, but the volume I've seen shoot up higher than the market. I mean, look at this. Look at this. EOS market cap is only a little bit higher than the volume. The volume is pretty much, look at this. 845. That's the max supply. What other coin has like what is that, 90% of the supply circulating? You can't do that with other coins because they have transaction fees. Only with EOS can you take one EOS and send it around the world to every single human being. Well, they don't have enough EOS RAM to do that. But once the EOS RAM's cheap enough, we can go from like a billion accounts to, or a few hundred million accounts to like 10 billion accounts. Once everyone in the world has an account, the same EOS token can be sent everywhere for free and then back to the same user. If you tried to send $1 around the world, you're going to get eaten by fees, and you won't be able to actually. It's called velocity of money. The velocity of money with EOS allows it to just be the US dollar system. My prediction is they're just going to keep it at the price it is, which makes people mad. The $2. People think it should be back to its all-time high of $20. But EOS was never an investment. That's why the SEC had its problems and warned people. That's why Block 1 warned people. That's why the website said Americans aren't technically allowed to hold it. Yeah, there was a reason for that. Like, they basically told people, like, don't try to use this in an investment. You don't go and buy a bunch of lumber and bulldozers as an investment. It's construction equipment. That's what EOS is. It's construction equipment. And me personally and my friends, we've made a lot of various projects, and we've made a lot of EOS. I'm not going to say money, but we've made EOS, which we could sell on Coinbase. That's liquid. We've made that selling our own tokens, which we could never do on Ethereum because it would cost, first of all, hundreds of dollars to get it set up, with all the fees, with all the airdrops, getting on Uniswap. It's just going to cost thousands of dollars, really, if you really want to start doing something on Ethereum and handle a lot and send out a lot of tokens. You're going to be paying 50 cents to $1 every time. But with EOS, the transaction fees don't exist. Now, technically they do, because on another site, I wish I could show you Coinfair Price or Coinfair or something. They took EOS off there. Another site that didn't like EOS when EOS was winning. The EOS token on the Coinfair site, the site was showing the fair market value of tokens. Like, the Bitcoin price was way higher. Everything was way higher than normal, right? Except for some things were smaller. But with EOS on that site, the price was $700. It was over $700. The market cap was in the billions. To go from $2 to $700, or back then more like $7, from $7 to $700, that 100x increase, I'll explain to you right here with the math how that works. So let's say you have, I'm going to look at the record, 350 million in a day. That's 350 million transactions in a day on EOS. What that means is that you can actually have that many and it's not fake. Some people act like it's fake. I'm sorry, but that's impossible. Someone's making the transaction. Someone has the EOS. You can't just act like that's not real. The fact that we are force multipliers and that on our accounts we can actually use more accounts with one person. On Ethereum, nobody can afford to do that, so you don't do it. The second Ethereum scales on EOS, which is what we have, then you'll start using it. Then all of a sudden, when you see that these transactions are all real, and USD Tether, the Tether, there are a lot of things. Sure, there's that ADOS thing, but all ADOS shows you is that you can have this many transactions. Now, I don't know why they are so upset with that. It's like keeping something warm. Like your bed. It's like warming your bed before you go on there. Warming your freaking toilet seat before you go on the toilet. That's all it is. You're just, it's like a shoe fitting. It's like where the thing you put in the shoe to make the shoe fit. The shoehorn, those other things, those little shoe stretchers. That's like what it is here. We're holding the place for something else coming. Because Google is part of EOS. You may not have known that. Or maybe you think that's propaganda, but it's real. Google Cloud has joined EOS. They're a block producer. That's like they're a witness. They're like a miner. They're mining EOS. And they're validating the blocks. And they're in the top 21 position now because they got voted in by EOS. They weren't put in by anyone. They got voted in. Block 1, I don't think even used their, well, maybe they did, but they only have a tenth of the full stake. People can outvote Block 1. The problem with Steam is that they started out with massive amounts, over half of all the Steam and Steam power was just Steam and Inks. Now they've sold it all off, but they gave it to Justin Sun. They destroyed the reliability of Steam. They could bring it back 100%. And this actually made it a lot stronger. But we have Hive now. But anyway, as you see, Hive is also on this list. And Hive is another DPoS. It can go up to 2. I've seen Steam and Hive. I don't know about Hive, but I've seen Steam. It's 2 million transactions. So we can keep going higher and higher too. Telos, as you can see here, has the highest rating for potential, 322,000 potential points. And these are judged by the ratio between the activity and the market cap. So it's like activity over market cap. And you have these numbers that give you how much these should be worth. Now look, you might, I just want to tell these Ethereum people, you're jealous. These are real. These are real transactions. Okay? I'm sorry that you don't understand how this works, but here's how EOS works. It's a real blockchain. It has real block height. It has real mining. Okay? It's done proof of stake, not proof of work. And guess what? You people used to act like if it wasn't proof of work, it wasn't decentralized. That's such a weird fallacy that you all, it's like a Mandela effect thing. You all just believed in something that was never true. Come on, man. You guys have bad memory. You guys associate shit together. You think that decentralization means proof of work, that you have to mine electricity, burn electricity to mine your coin. No. This is the blockchain now. It's a database. It always has been. And we can use cryptography to make it strong in many ways. Not just through proof of work burning of electricity. Okay? Now, look at all the transactions, okay? Look at these transactions. Look at that. 152,968 and 45. Dude, look at the transactions per second. It's almost 4,000. 2.141 million accounts. I don't understand why people could ever act like this isn't a blockchain when it has a block height. It has everything a blockchain has. It actually has more than Ethereum. This has more. Let me see if I can find where it actually shows. Here we go. EOS top holders. That didn't work. But anyway. Anyway, EOS is so much more decentralized than Bitcoin or Ethereum because there are 21 block producers. And let's see where Google is now. I'll type in Google. Oh yeah, it's like, isn't it cloud or something? GC. Well, it's in there. I could have sworn it was in there in the top. Yeah, one of those. Let's see. You know, big companies are coming in. Oh, they must have got knocked down. Well, there's EOS Sweden. He got knocked down. There's EOS Cafe Block, EOS Authority, Gray Mass. They all need to be at the top, man. But you know what? They're not going to be. They're going to be needing to go to Telos. There's not enough room for all these people. They're all like who.com. Oh, come on. All these exchanges, they're going to be pushed out by Google. If I could find them. Well, the point is, this is the future. Bitcoin pegged on EOS. I'll show you that here. Bitcoin pegged on EOS. You can't win. Okay, Ethereum has also pegs here. This is how it's gonna work. Okay, this is the future. Just stop acting like the transactions on EOS are fake. You want to know what we're doing on EOS? We're doing these things on EOS. We're actually pegging BTCP on EOS, BTCP on Ethereum, BTCP on Telos, PLTC on Ethereum, pegged LTC on EOS, pegged Ethereum on EOS, pegged Chainlink on EOS, YFI on EOS. This is how you actually send Satoshis. I've been doing it on Tippet. We actually have this. Here, I'll go right into Tippet chat. I'll show you. We have been sending Satoshis. I'm going to send a Satoshi right now. Tip 0.1234567 PBTC. It's a Telos token. We're doing it on Telos first, and then it'll be on EOS. But we have these tokens here. Bitcoin pegged. See, you can actually send it to any user. So I can go to Elon Musk. You select a token. PBTC, select the amount, and then I can just send it. Let's see, it's not finding his name there. Let's do real Donald Trump. Let me just refresh the page. Well, anyway, here's the actual token over here. So there we go. We got this Bitcoin on EOS, okay? And look at that. Look at the market cap. Well, I mean, the market cap is based on the fact that there's 143 Bitcoin in here. It's pretty damn good. It's $2 million, $2.5 million. And there was like 1.8 million the other day in volume, but there's still $467,000 just in daily volume. Most half of it's on DeFi box, and some of it's on DeFi. It's not network. Some of it's on Dolphin Swap is really popular, and then of course Nudex. And then it's also on Alcor. Alcor is the best new thing. It's going to be where everyone uses to list and to create their own tokens, and it has NFTs too. So anyway, here's another example. Like this is Bitcoin now. You're not going to be able to afford Bitcoin unless you're using it on EOS. Here is Alcor. Log in here. You can list any EOS token you want, and with my suggestions, we should be able to soon allow you to create your own token, just like VP did. But this is why this is going to be where all the transactions are. You can go to market right here, and you can go open market. Ignore that. That was from another app that had nothing to do with this. And then you go and let's say I have AXA token, right? And I want to list it. Okay, ignore that. It had nothing to do with this. It's fucking scatter being stupid. So you go to AXA, right? Or APX, 8E, whatever. Let's say I got a token I want to, let's see, there's one here. It's a good token I want to list that I haven't listed yet. The zoo. Oh, yeah, that's right. The San Diego Zoo token. Okay, so let's say I want to list this token, right? I click that. That'd be it. I'm not going to do it right now, but everything comes up like this. And then Anchor comes up, and then it signs it, and boom, it's done. What's amazing is how the transactions are free, and you can get a free account on this site. But yeah, once you do that, you have a token. Then you can go and trade it. And you get this wallet for free, okay? Just remember that. This wallet is free, and it gives you an EOS account, which you can then use, and Telos, which you can use to hold Bitcoin in its form on EOS right here. Here's Bitcoin, PBTC. I'm going to connect my Anchor wallet right here. Now, all I have to do that one more time. Try that again. Okay, fuck you. Okay, that's when I'll just use scatter. And it works. Oh, I have Wombat on, that's why. Well, anyway, whatever. I'll go to issue and redeem. Generate new deposit address. Now, if someone sends me Bitcoin to that address right here, it'll go into my EOS account, which should be right here in the Wombat wallet. Right here. And there's an app too. And it logs in with Google. Interesting, isn't it? That they would have Google log in months before Google joins EOS. It's almost like they figured out who they're going to work best with. You know, people wonder, why would Google need EOS to scale Gmail, Google accounts, and everything in Google's suite? Don't you get they're going to allow people to get paid to curate data? Do you get that yet? You get paid to use your Gmail account. That's how it'll be. Dmail.co is made by the genius CurdyBot, the guy who created Chirp and a bunch of other stuff, Nifty Wizards. And look, he made Dmail as one of his earlier projects that I can remember, and that got people thinking, like, hey, he made an email service on Telos called Dmail. You know, I don't know if people use it much, but it was more of like a proof of concept. It still works, and I mean, I like to promote it. I got it listed on Alcor, and it's just one of these things that you can do with EOS.io. It has transactional functions. And the fact that there's only, like, let me go back to here. The fact that there's only, it's blocked. Where the fuck is blocktivity? The fact that there's only, there's 65 million transactions on EOS. Oh, but there's only activity. But then there's only 5 million transactions. See, they take all the activity and they try to say, well, some of that's, quote, spam, unquote. No, it's not spam. It's a person who paid for the fucking EOS stake, because you have to have a certain amount of EOS to make the transactions. If you want to make a bunch of transactions, you have to hold the EOS stake. It's just more efficient. If people saw that an Ethereum user was promoting their Ethereum token because Ethereum was free after proof of stake kicks in, let's say Ethereum transactions were just free, right? And someone was like doing massive airdrops, they wouldn't call it spam. They would call it advertising, and they would say it's useful and we need it and blah, blah, blah. They make excuses for it. The fact is, all this stuff is good. It's all should have excuses made for. But these people attack the technology they don't like, that they're not invested in. You shouldn't be invested in EOS. It's for the dollar. It's for the government. It's not for people. It's always going to be like $2. It's not supposed to go up. It's supposed to be inflated, the supply, so that you can actually have 20 trillion EOS and do a 5% inflation a year. You have 1 trillion a year. That'll cover your military and your healthcare and everything else. And that'll replace income tax. And that is what Dan Larimer wanted to do. Because it's much more fair to tax everyone equally with inflation. That taxes the rich too. It's not just fair just to tax poor people. That's just like hell. So anyway, we're going to get rid of the income tax and we're going to use this system. Everyone knows that the income tax is fucking illegal. And we're not going to fucking use it. We don't have bank accounts anymore. We have crypto. And if they start sending us bills, how do they expect us to pay? We literally can't pay them. Unless they try to torture us or something, which isn't going to happen because we have guns and like no one has the fucking capacity to torture every American to get the private key. Do you get that? These private, I myself keep crypto from myself. I don't even know where all my coins are. If I'm feeling like I need to go buy some, I need to go to the dispensary and get an expensive weed thing or expensive money on something I don't need, my brain will stop like telling me where all the coins are hidden. Sometimes I'll just remember where some of my accounts are. Like my Keybase account I looked the other day. Haven't looked in for like a year. Oh, still had $35 in it, I would have spent that if I would have remembered that. But because I have this thing in my mind trained by the blockchain, I've been trained by an artificial intelligence network, which is what it is. It's AI. Yes, it is. That's what it is. No, it's not. It's not officially AI because they didn't call it that. No. If you're using a fucking computer with an app, you are engaged in artificial intelligence. It's engaged with you. You are engaging an intelligent system that's like doing things for you that's artificially intelligent. It's not like God. It doesn't have a consciousness yet. But like, people have to realize that if you were to show your smartphone to someone in the 50s, they think there's a ghost in there helping you. I mean, don't even talk about Siri or Google Assistant. It's not that shit's like magic to people in the past. They couldn't begin to explain it. You shouldn't be able to explain it. You shouldn't be able to use it. We have no idea how this shit works. Can you build a process? Do you know how a CPU works? No. People have no idea how this stuff works. We're like catching up with it in real time. And it's funny how they don't teach kids in school that shit. Isn't it weird? They don't teach us how any of our own technology works. Anyway, the point of all this was with the 65 million transactions a day on EOS are real. Just because they can't afford them doesn't mean they're not real. On Ethereum, if they could make transactions, they'd make them. They'd fucking make those transactions every fucking day. And they'd actually like, they'd say, oh, this is a business. This is like an infrastructure thing. We need those transactions. It's all just tribalism. So I just wanted to show you all that the EOS blockchain and its 65 million transactions a day are real. Now, sure, they separate that out to 5 million real transactions. These are activity. But they're only doing that. They only did that because of criticism. In reality, every EOS transaction is real. You can't say it's like fake. It doesn't make it. That's like saying that, just think about it this way. the EOS transactions have to be like done. They have to be pushed through by someone. They have to be signed. They have to be done by someone. Someone has to click a button somewhere to start them. And if you're to say, well, no, it's all automated, well, that just means someone clicked the button, automated their system. Still had to start with a human. There's always a human behind everything. And whether or not you want to admit that that human deserves to be called a business is irrelevant. It is a business. So that's all I have to say. EOS transactions are real. Ethereum transactions can't catch up unless they're on EOS. And that's why we have PETH, pegged Ethereum, on EOS. The ptokens.io people made it. They made Bitcoin, Chainlink, and Ethereum on EOS. Now people will see that they can use those to actually scale. So when Ethereum and Bitcoin transactions cost too much for anyone to afford, they'll use EOS. Honestly, it's like, why wouldn't you? You can't all use the mainnet on a network that doesn't, you can't afford it. Anyway, it's just going to be so much activity with the PBTCs on Twitter. There's going to be so many people sending each other on EOS Bitcoin. It's going to make it so that you're going to have people making airdrops right over Twitter. And then it's going to explode. Eventually, Twitter will have to enable Cash App directly and let you link a Twitter account to a Cash App account. And that's what Jack Dorsey thinks he'll do. He thinks he's going to take over the world with his Bitcoin. But, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure that Block 1 has more Bitcoin with their 140,000 Bitcoin. But I don't know. Maybe Jack Dorsey has more now. But it doesn't really matter because anyone can make a new fundraiser. When the bull market happens, people are willing to invest in something new. Especially if it's like what Dan Larimer had. If it's like free speech technology. So anyway, just remember, this is real. Those are real transactions. They're not fake. They're real transactions. And you can't say they're not fake. You can look on the blockchain. This is the whole point of this, is that you can see they're real. If you just decide this isn't a real blockchain, it doesn't count, well, then you don't count. So, eventually the big Fortune 500s will have to look at this list and they'll say which blockchain actually works for something that and it'll be Visa, and it'll be, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, Visa, Goldman Sachs. Those will be the block producers. Maybe even the actual Treasury. Maybe even the Federal Reserve of New York, Federal Reserve of Boston. Those various Federal Reserves can have you on a blockchain as block producers. I mean, dude, this is going to be how it works. I think Yahoo might come to Telos as a block producer. And then also I think gaming companies like Ubisoft are going to come to the Ultra chain. So there's an EOS.io chain for every sector of the economy, it seems. And people laugh, think it's nerdy, they don't have enough, or they don't have enough marketing, or the price isn't high enough. If you made a screwdriver and then the price